Hey girls, what's going on you guys? My name is Hugh and welcome to part 2 of the DMC Dante build. Let's get started, shall we? Yes, I know this literally took one whole month to get all the pieces together, mainly the jacket. But let's start with the boots. These boots are handcrafted from genuine leather, and I got these from a shop called Handy by Monica. And they specialize in a lot of different cosplay boots, from video game characters to movie characters. So I highly suggest you go check them out down in the description below. I really didn't want to have to ruin the boots, however, I definitely wanted to weather them just a little bit so they had some wear and tear on them. The first thing I did was grab a small sheet of 120 grit sandpaper and completely went all over the shoe, not scratching it up too much, but just going in one direction swiftly to leave tiny little scratch marks as if the boots have been kicking around objects all day long. Then I followed it up immediately with a weather wash with black acrylic paint, dabbed it on, wiped it off, dabbed it on, wiped it off, all over between that and the sandpaper. I did it enough so that I was completely satisfied with how many scratches I wanted and how gritty and gross the shoes needed to be. The main thing is, if you're doing weathering, always get in the smallest cracks of any piece of your costume. Meaning in the boots, between the seams, between the straps, anywhere that the dirt could just collect and sit there. Pretty much did the exact same technique on the gloves, using the 120 grit sandpaper, slapping it all over the place, front and back of the gloves, and doing a complete black wash, on and off, wiping off, on and off, wiping it off. You can never go overboard when it comes to weathering or just going over the black wash. It just depends on how dirty and how gross you want your costume or armor pieces to be. So I bought this front-mounted dual-wield holster off of Amazon for a couple of bucks. The only thing I needed to modify on this was the bottom part of the seam, because when I test fitted both of the guns, they didn't quite go all the way through without being forced through the holster. So the only thing I did is I took my little X-Acto knife and went just to the bottom of the seam below that button, just to open it up a little bit more so that the guns can slide smoothly into it. Now it is time for the biggest piece, the jacket. This is the DMC3 style red coat, all genuine leather, handcrafted by a shop called Wander's Artisan, which you can check out also down in the description below if you guys want to go get one yourself. The belt I wasn't so sure about, however, for the added detail I went ahead and weathered that as well and added it to the costume. But the jacket, I did not use the 120 grit sandpaper because leather jackets, real leather jackets, don't get as scratched up as like your leather boots or your gloves do. So keeping that in mind, all I did was an entire black wash up and down, in and out, all the way through the seams of this jacket, just to slap as much grossness between each seams, hidden pieces underneath the arms or below the seams on the bottom of the jacket. Anywhere I can hide it and make this thing look absolutely destroyed. And there you go. The Dante costume is pretty much all ready to go. I love what I did with the weathering. It gives the costume a little bit more grittiness, a little bit more realism, as if Dante obviously hasn't cleaned his crap in like several years to a century. Plus, I didn't really like the pure red color. Not that it's inaccurate to the game. However, in my build of this, I wanted it to be more realistic than just this cartoonized jacket that I'm wearing. I actually have both the girls in their holsters, which takes a minute to get them all set up, but I don't plan on, you know, trying to do some crazy action scene where I'm pulling the guns out of the holsters. At least this way, they're out of the way, and you could still see them while I'm wandering around with other utensils like I'm holding my phone or sword or something like that. The only reason why I went with the front holsters instead of the ones that go on the back, like the game did, it was like right here, is because there's going to be another tool coming soon in the third part of this build that is going to be going on the back of this costume. Let me do a quick 360 so you guys can see this whole thing. Like I said, the weathering turned out really good. Just simple black paint, nothing super crazy. It's very comfortable. Originally I had this holster, these little loops here on like the front of this belt. I didn't like it. It looked like it was this monkey suit. It was really out of place. This seems a little more logical, just attaching it to the actual overcoat with the belt just kind of dangling around in the wind. And if I wanted to, I could just take the coat off with the holster on, just so I can cool off a little bit instead of having to disassemble everything piece by piece, then taking the jacket off to cool off. Overall, this thing turned out really good. So the whole idea with this costume is that it's one of every, I guess, piece of Dante's costumes throughout all the games. So we got the DMC3 style jacket with the dangling belt in front of it. We got DMC5 style brown gloves. They're not black. If you don't believe me, take a look at the screenshot. They're actually brown in the new DMC game, which is weird because all 4 games he had it was black. So I don't know if they just got really gross over time and they just started fading to a different color. Not sure, but that is the color I decided to go with. DMC5 boots, which again, these are gorgeous, by the way. Very comfortable, it's very lightweight, it's not thick. There's actually some really good lining in here, by the way. I forgot to document that. But overall, really good, high quality boot. I went with the DMC5 undersuit, because obviously I don't have abs, okay? I'm not gonna do the DMC3 style where it has no shirt on. Before I end this video, I have one small extra reveal for you guys. And if you haven't seen my recent YouTube short, you probably already know what I'm about to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, the rebellion has arrived. Holy crap, this thing is badass. This thing weighs as much as my bass guitar weighs, and that's a 5-string bass. So this thing is about 15, maybe 12 pounds or something like that. And to me, it feels lightweight, but to some people, yeah, this is literally a dumbbell in your hands. It is ridiculous. You guys take a close look at it. It is real stainless steel handle, pommel, the guard, everything from here back is stainless steel. So you got the 2 different skulls, the regular one, and then obviously the one with the horns coming out of eyeballs. Then we go towards the blade. This is a real stainless steel blade. Hand carved, forged. This whole thing was hand forged actually. And it is quite a pretty cool instrument of destruction, this piece. Now obviously this is going to be way too heavy to put on the back of this suit because, let's be fair, I can't really bring this to conventions, first of all. You know, I'm good for photo shoots and stuff and films, but not so good for bringing to conventions. You're gonna have to find out the next part in this build to see what the heck I'm gonna be bringing. And it can't be just the guns. I gotta bring some kind of sword with it. If you guys are just as psyched up as I am for the next part, be sure to give this video a fat DMC like. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. I got a bunch more projects coming your way, and it's not just a Dante build. There's some other cool stuff that took the rest of that month to start collaborating. And I'll see you goons later. Let's see if I can swing this thing. Whoa!